Here's a bit of a strange U substitution problem. If we take a look at this, we see that we have an x outside of the square root and x plus 3 inside the square root. The derivative of either of those pieces is just a constant. So there doesn't appear to be a good choice of u. For instance, if I let u be equal to x plus 3, the derivative would just be 1, and it wouldn't involve an x. So how do we go about making that substitution? Well, there's an example that WebAssign refers to as example 4, and you'll probably see, I believe it's 2 problems that will refer you back to example 4 in the textbook. And it's really referring to example 5, so that's the first thing that you should note, is that when WebAssign refers you back to example 4 in your U substitution problems, it really means example 5. And this is a little bit of what example 5 looks like. What we're going to do is we're going to let u be equal to x plus 3. And that's going to make du be equal to dx. And that doesn't complete our substitution. We can write this then as the antiderivative of x times the square root of u du. But what about that x? We need a complete substitution. We can't leave x's around. We have to get rid of all the x's and go just to u's. Well, I can take this u is equal to x plus 3 and rewrite it as x is equal to u minus 3. And I can use that as a substitution. Let's see what happens when we do that. We end up with the antiderivative of u minus 3 times the square root of u, which is u to the 1/2, times du. Now, what's interesting here is that I can distribute the u to the 1/2. So I can rethink of this as the antiderivative of u to the 3/2 minus 3u to the 1/2 du. And now that's something that I can actually take an antiderivative of. So we're going to end up with 2/5 u to the 5/2 minus 3 times 2/3 u to the 3/2 plus c. That's going to end up being 2/5 times x plus 3 to the 5/2 power minus 2 times x plus 3 to the 3/2 power plus c. So we were able to take the derivative. This doesn't show up that often, and I'll promise you in this video that I won't put a problem like this on a test. But I think it's good that you see lots of different techniques. I don't know what you'll see in other classes, so I want to make sure that you are exposed. And again, when you come across something like this in WebAssign, it will ask you to look at example 4. Remember that that really means example 5 if you want to look that up in your ebook.